Hello and welcome back to another fabulous roundtable, the author roundtable of Meet the Authors of Live Life in Wow book. And we are so thrilled that this book is coming to you any day now. So get those orders in for pre-sales. Shipping and handling is included. And we encourage you to get those orders in for Christmas so you can share with all your family and friends because there's so many wonderful golden nuggets, sometimes boulders and sometimes the 2x4s coming at you and all these amazing stories of 15 wonderful contributing authors. And I'm so pleased to continue the discussion today. We had a fantastic morning with our first panel of authors, and we're continuing that with our second panel. And so let's bring them all on to our wonderful studio. So give me one moment. Hang on one second while I maneuver these buttons. So thank you all for joining us. This is the WOW Author Roundtable. Please join in our conversation and let us know what is a WOW moment for you. So we're starting off with that. Please share with us, has there something today that's caught your attention that made you pause and just be in wonderment, have an open awareness, and what wisdom or lesson did you gain from that? So that is the acronym for WOW: wonder, openness, and wisdom. So we invite you to share that with us and take a moment and hear from amazing authors as well too. So I see so many wonderful authors here with me, so I'm going to bring them up one by one. Welcome, Amy. Hello, Amy. So good to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So thank you, Amy, for joining us. We also have LaDonna McAbee. Woo, LaDonna. Excellent. And then we also have Mila Johansen. Wow, full house today. Mila, thank you for joining us as well too. Excellent. So if you're just tuning in, this is our second panel of today, the Author Roundtable. And I'm so happy to have all of you here with us, Amy, LaDonna, Mila. And this morning, we kicked things off with a great discussion. We were talking about how to say wow in different languages.
Oh,
So I don't know if any of you speak a different language that you want to share, but I have a Vietnamese heritage. And so I was thinking about it, like one of the ways we can express wow in Vietnamese. Are you ready? Ôi giời ơi.
I love that.
So ôi giời ơi could be like wow. And you can say it in a variety of different ways, but that is something that just came to my mind. And then one of our authors, Gina, she put a French spin on it. She said, wow, oui. So you can say wow in a variety of different ways, like wow, wee, or wow, wee. WEE at the end as a kid. And then you can also try the Vietnamese way. So, oi, zoi, oi. So if you are
I
watching
think in Texas, it's yippee.
in Texas, we say yippee. So there. Of course, Texas, that Lone Star state. And we've got two Texans. Amy, you live in San Antonio.
I'm in San Antonio, so I'm learning how to speak Spanish because most of our population in San Antonio speaks Spanish. And so in Spanish, I believe it's wow with a G in the beginning. Wow. Or, yeah.
Wow.
You can have a silent G there. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I think that's how you say I'm just learning. That's what Duolingo says.
Okay, we'll take Duolingo's word for it. So
Yeah.
have some fun. I think it's fascinating that we can translate wow or just the expression or the feeling in so many different languages. And the other thing we discuss is that how the universe brings things and also brings people together. So it's no accident today that we've got, Amy, LaDonna, and Mila here, because our focus for this particular panel is going to be around community and connection. And each of you have something to say about that. We're going to turn it over to Amy in just a few seconds here, but she is very involved with Meals on Wheels San Antonio, Grace Notes Choir, so that's a community connection. LaDonna, you're building up a wonderful mojo movement also. And then Mila, you've got a wonderful writing and publishing community. So I think, how does the WOW connect us all together? It's something we can all speak about. And then let's dive into that. And then I'd love for you to maybe just talk about the chapter swap. Deborah was so kind to match everyone up and we could comment on each other's chapters. So I'd love for you to read an excerpt if you've got one available and just ask each other some questions and really make this a roundtable discussion. All right. So, and Deborah, my lovely co-host, is here. So, yay, Deborah! Are you ready to be on? You can just message me and let me know when you're ready to be on. So, so let's start with that. Let's start with, this concept of how WoW connects us. Who would like to start? Okay. Please, Amy.
Okay. Well, as we all know, the whole world has just been through a collective trauma, right? And we were doing the best we can. What we found was we needed to be together. So we made Zoom work. This Restream platform is great. We all went online. We made it work. That just shows the power and the necessity of community. And now that we're back in person for a lot of things, I always think, wow, I can't believe we're back in person together. There's nothing like going through a dark period to have the light period be really filled with wonder. And so that's kind of how I feel about being back in person, our choir, as well as just kind of the world going back offline.
Wow, I love that, Amy. And you shared with us a few pictures of you out and about in the community. So if you got that to share with everyone, I'd love you to explain, who the people are and what it means to have music, connect people together too.
Yeah, great. So I'm a music therapist, and so I see private clients, etc. But a few years ago, I got a phone call that asked me to be a choir director, and I thought, I'm not ready to be a choir director. But in the process, we built this great community choir. So we were called Grace Notes Community Choir. But we began to wonder if the word choir was excluding some people, maybe it was intimidating. So we changed our name. We're now Grace Notes Community Singers. I think that feels really warm and inviting, which we are. And it's been amazing. We've been embraced into the local community. In San Antonio, there's a great community for older adults. I work specifically with older adults with dementia and their care partners. And our choir was formed, and then someone at Meals on Wheels heard of us and thought they would want to be a part of it. And so they took us on as an official program. So, oh, good. So here we are. Meals on Wheels, our community of San Antonio came together and raised millions of dollars to fund this state-of-the-art kitchen, something like the capability for 30,000 meals a day, if I'm saying that right. But we did a ribbon cutting not long ago, and our choir was invited to perform. And we are a community, and look how cold we look. We're in San Antonio. It's supposed to be warm, but we were cold on the outside, but we're warm-hearted on the inside. So we're a part of that larger community. Grace Knows Singers have a community of probably 20 people, and then we're a part of a bigger family at Meals on Wheels, which is part of a bigger family in the city of San Antonio. So, well, it was ripples, right? Ripples going outward. So we're super excited to be a part of Meals on Wheels and just being out in the community, because people with dementia still have a lot to give. So we want to give it.
I love that. People with dementia still have a lot to give. Excellent. And I love this picture because the way the picture is taken, it feels like those ice cream scoops are for me.
Oh, love that.
Like, yeah, I like the vintage. I could just insert myself and have a bite of the ice cream right now.
Oh, it was so good. So we're the choir, and we needed an independent living community. So this is Morningside at the Meadows. The food was fantastic. The desserts were to die for. This is a funny picture because I feel like I'm looking at Joyce's dessert going, she has more than me. I'm going to eat hers too. So just another dimension of another ripple in our community. So, and they're wonderful to host us and feed us. Boy, we look like we're satisfied.
Well, I was wondering about this expression in your face, that maybe you didn't get enough ice cream.
I know. That's always how I feel.
Wonderful. I love that. I love that you changed the word from choir to singers and making it more inclusive.
I think so. Yeah, because we mostly just have fun and like to be together, and we sing as well. So I think the community aspect, yeah, that's what we do. We sing. We're a choir, but we don't sing parts. We just have fun. We make a joyful noise.
Make a joyful noise indeed. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Mila, how about you? I mean, writing and publishing has been your passion. And what have you done to really bring people together?
Well, I just discovered that if you push M, it unmutes your mic. I never knew that before. It told me to do that, so I read the directions. But anyway, I'm so excited because when COVID hit, I was just putting out my book about my famous grandmother, From Cowgirl to Congress, and I was going to speak all over my community, Washington, D.C., where she worked in her hometown in Colorado. But then suddenly I couldn't go anywhere, so I decided to reinvent myself, and I found a huge online community. And now I'm speaking all over the world for the last 2 years, once or twice a week. And I didn't know I could speak in India and Spain and London and all these places. So it kind of connected me to all these people. And I didn't know a lot about online. So I had to learn. So I started taking all the classes I could. And that's where I met everybody. I mean, I met all of you there too, I'm pretty sure. And I spoke on the wonderful thing that Debora interviewed me for with Toni Kaufman's. And then, so we're meeting that way right now. And I'm with people all over the world. And I just never knew that was impossible at all. It's so amazing to me. And I have friends all over the world now and people I'm working with. So I'm excited about that. And I'm helping so many people write and publish their books and make this process super easy and fun. And they just don't know how easy it can be. And I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot of work behind. If they're willing to do the work, we can get it done fast. And so that's exciting. And I met all of you there, and I'm just I'm overwhelmed at what the possibilities are right now, combining online and offline. I taught at the School for Adults for 8 years, and so. Anyway, I now I put it all online, and it's MilaJohansen.com. You can find all my classes, even Etsy. I teach Etsy, and I know LaDonna, and I do eBay, and there's a lot of money in that if you do it right.
I'm sensing a theme here, so our wow moments, it seems collectively, like, with this pandemic, being locked down in COVID was a dark time, but we were able to still find wow in community and looking for people that we could belong together with. So wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Olivia, COVID was good to me. And I've heard several people say that I would not have this career without COVID.
Yeah. And LaDonna has a COVID story to share too, because, it impacted her business tremendously, and she's been able to turn that around. So let's give the floor to LaDonna.
Welcome, everyone. I am LaDonna McAbee, and to give you a little history, when I was in school, I did not learn quickly. Well, that does not surprise Olivia, Deb, or Mila, because but once I get it, I get it. And luckily for me, people like them have taken the time to reinforce a little bit that I know and put it, help me put it together. But I've been in my business, Home Sweet Home Treasures, for over 17 years. And I did everything by going to breakfast, brunch, lunch, happy hour, handing out business cards, speaking in front of real people. And then one day the government tells me no more. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I can't draw unemployment. I can't retire yet. So I started learning more. I already knew Facebook somewhat. So I really dug into that. And then I just started, luckily I found Olivia. She helped me with some other things, LinkedIn and Restream. And someone else taught me more about Zoom. And it was really a big turnaround for me. And you know what? I like it. I don't know. I just love, I have my studio here at home. I still dress, but I don't have to get in the car and fight the traffic and buy $25 breakfast that I'm not going to eat because I'm going to be busy doing other things. And, it can be pretty wrenching when you're out there. If any of you have ever done it, beating the streets, as my husband says, trying to get business and get those business cards out, and then come back and do all of your office work. So I really like where I'm at. And you know what? My fur buddies, they really love it because mama's home all the time. But I love my business. And, I've also brought in Monday Mojo and Throwback Thursday and have built a community with people there. If they can't join me live, I'm noticing that a lot of them are looking and reading and watching later in the day or even the next day. And it's pretty amazing what your computer or laptop can do for you.
Yes, I'm very grateful for my computer allowing me to connect with all of you. And like what Mila was saying, we were able to just travel, right? Like I have this purple galaxy just because that's what I feel like. We're just out there. And although we're not together per se next to each other, but we're out there in the galaxy and we're connected, right? Through very special collective energy. So I think this is what I really cherish from the WOW books and having that experience of writing and sharing the stories is that we can create community and connection by taking a pause and honoring those moments of wonder, openness, and wisdom. All thanks to Deborah, who had this divine download, right, to create it. So, Deborah.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be here right when we started. I had something I had to take care of that was very urgent. So thank you, everybody, for being here, and Olivia for hosting. This is, again, just wonderful. And so where are we at? What do you? I heard everybody's stories, and of course, I've gotten to know each of you a little bit through the book. Certainly, we haven't met yet in person, but I'm very excited about that happening. I hope someday, maybe through one of our events that maybe we're going to have in 2023. Who knows? 2023, all kinds of new things could happen. So we'll just see. We'll just see where we're all at.
Excellent. So, we are designing these roundtables, could meet the authors, get to know each of their stories ahead of time before buying the book. But, go ahead and get the book. It's right available for you right now. This is the link. And if you want to stay connected with us even further, we have an amazing Facebook group. You can be part of the WOW concept movement. So the link is on the screen. So go ahead and check us out over there too. So we're going to turn things over now to have more of a deep dive book discussions. Not too much a deep dive because we still want you to read the stories. But we did this thing internally with a chapter swap. And LaDonna, I think you had a chance to read Amy's story. I'd love to hear your first impressions and if you've got questions for Amy.
Amy, I was floored. Number one, I haven't known Amy too long, but when you told me what you did, I'm like, really? I had no idea. I really had no idea how far music can bring a person. I know I love music and it can brighten my day at any given moment just by listening to music. But for you to take it to another level of being able to almost self-care for dementia people, I don't know about anyone else, but that is one of my fears. If I would be, get that horrific dementia or Alzheimer's or, my mind, I need my mind, it may not be great every day, but I need it. And, but for you to be able to fulfill a happiness through music. And, my next thought was, when I was a brownie leader for both of my children, I don't know if they still do this, but one of their patches, or maybe a couple of them, they would do little cards. And we would also practice a couple of songs and we would take them to the nursing facilities. Back then, we didn't have a lot of dementia facilities, Alzheimer facilities, specialized center. Everyone just went to the nursing homes.
Yeah.
So we would all go in there, we would sing and we would, talk, and we would give them their little notes or cards. And it was amazing how much that uplifted them. So I can't imagine what you do for them. Do you think, my question, I guess, is it time for me to ask a question for Amy? Okay. Amy, my question for you is, do you think, I know it makes them happy. I read that. But do you think that inside of them that they may feel like that they're able to remember something from their past or nowadays, or maybe it helps them notice their loved one when it comes in the door?
Yes.
I don't know if that's too hard of a question. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it is a big question, LaDonna, but I'll see if I can make it smaller. The singing can bring back memories, and sometimes someone can verbalize that. You know, I've worked with people before who don't say anything. We sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and suddenly, because that music is encoded very deeply in the brain, to get a little bit clinical, encoded very deeply in the brain, so it's in there, it's stuck in there, and this person had experienced the song dozens of times in his life. So it's in his brain. And he was able to speak after that. You know, people have seen the videos of somebody who's not doing anything, and then music makes them speak, helps them to speak or have a memory. But sometimes, you know, what it really does, rather than brings back a memory, is brings back a spark connection. We're talking about connection, right? I am amazed. I like to think I'm pretty engaging, but when I am in front of a group and I have a guitar, the most quiet people in the audience or in the choir, we all know each other, but there's something about having the guitar and me and the guitar and the person. It's like they just attuned to me, and I feel like they're telling me inside, please see me, you know. And I think the music helps them to feel seen. And so I don't know, did that answer your question, LaDonna? I just feel like sometimes I feel like our cells remember, if that makes sense. I know there's some research about that, but that even when our brains, we maybe not be able to put our finger on, oh, that reminds me of this one time. Our heart knows, our cells know, our psyche, our spirit knows. And I always think about that when I'm singing with somebody with dementia or without. I'm kind of saying while I'm saying, I see you. And the music builds a bridge between us. So.
I love that. And you know, I can see that when you out to the ball game. I mean, we've all heard that hundreds and hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in every language across the globe, because that's just it's such a popular way. And you know, even like if someone would sing Amazing Grace to me, it would be the same thing. We've all heard that, probably in every language around the world. And the only other question I have is your chapter that says Mother Knows Best. I always think I know best when it comes to my children, you know. And, you know, I always have this slogan that I'm going to tell you what, to my children, not other people. I'm going to tell you what I think. You get to do what you want with it because you're adult. But this is what mommy thinks. But when in that chapter, how did you really, I want you to make me, how did you really feel when that came, that sentence that you wrote about Mother Knows Best, really explain that to me. How did that make you feel when you got that phone call?
Yeah, well, even when you talk about it, LaDonna, I'm getting a little bit emotional about it because I really was, and I was lost. I mean, I wasn't lost. I was functioning, but that's not joy, you know? Yeah, and two things. One, that my mom, you know, would know me so well that she would read this thing. That she would know me so well, you know, mothers and daughters, that she would instantly go, Amy needs this information. Right. And so I remember where I was sitting. I was an administrative assistant. I was sitting at my desk. My mom, you know, called me and said, you know, I've heard about this career that you should check out. And I felt seen by her. I felt uplifted. I felt, wow, there's really such a thing, because it's kind of what I've been searching for without knowing it my whole life. So thanks, Mom.
Wonderful. Thank you, LaDonna, for just pulling that out of Amy just now. And we've got a viewer. Yeah. And shout out to Kathy Nesbitt, who is watching. So Kathy's part of our Concept Wow movement. And she says this, Amy, you're so engaging, and music can bring people to the present. And I love what you said, you know, music can help people feel that they're being seen.
Yes. That's right. That is, Kathy, yes. Yes, it makes you more present. The singer's present, and if you're present with somebody, they're more likely to be present with you, right? So, and music just brings that. Yes, brings you back to the present, I think.
Well, when you think of it, if you don't mind me saying, the wow moment of your mom and you coming together on that, I mean, that to me would be divinely inspired. And of course, the mother-daughter connection that, well, to me is divine anyway. So I think, Amy, have you ever considered that part of it, that how, wow, like there's no coincidence. Here I am, looking and searching, which your mom probably knew some, but all of a sudden there it is. It's like magic.
It's kind of like candid camera, right? Like what? Like a realization that you come to. Yeah, I think my mom does talk to me a lot about how neither of my parents are very musical. It's not, yeah. So they're always kind of like, wow. They're like, wow. We have this musical daughter. Wow, and I'm like, wow. So it's a theme, guys. Wow.
One of Deborah's questions from this morning was, how many times a day can you say wow? And it's like never enough, right? Never enough, because there's so many things that you can just, if you really look enough, they can astonish you. Wonderful. Well, since we've got you spotlit, Amy, I think you had the chance to read Mila's chapter, and you and Mila have a very special collaboration too. I mean, it's not any coincidence that we kind of cross-promote, cross-collaborate into many different projects, because once you know someone and you want to work with them, you find other reasons to work with them. So, Mila has an upcoming book, The Stories of Us, which, Amy, you're a part of too. So tell us a little bit about what your reflections are having read Mila's chapter.
Yeah. Well, I know Mila as a teacher, and now I know her as a young woman. And so, first of all, Mila, it was really neat to I just picture it, right? Because I know you a little bit from our course. And so I just thought, and I was amazed at what in your chapter, how you just never know who you're going to come across. We live our lives and sometimes we get in kind of a rut. This is what we're doing. And then suddenly you meet someone interesting and you're like, wow, I can't believe that happened. So I am wondering, so I'm not going to mention, so in Mila's story, she met somebody very famous. I'm not going to say who that is, but all I'll say is feel the burn. That's a hint. And so Mila, I was wondering, that your story, you said you sort of found your voice. What kind of a young woman were you before that happened, and before you sort of started finding where you were meant to be, and then after?
Well, you won't believe it, but because I'm a speaker, teacher, and and I've been a performer, and just to relate with you, Amy, these are all my musicals, 22 that I've written, that go all over the world. They're behind me. So anyway, but music does bring us all together. I taught a huge theater program. I've been on stage, but when I was a teenager, I was so shy that people would talk to me. I'd go, yeah. And then I came out of it, and I had never argued for myself, even though I was raised by my grandmother, who was, a major suffragette, and took me along when she spoke with Gloria Steinem and Marlo Thomas and people. But the thing is, I had never spoken up for myself, and I didn't have a big voice, and I didn't have a lot of thoughts even, I don't think, because we were raised very naively. We didn't have a TV in our house till we were 8, and things like that. And I always wanted to be a writer, and I started writing. But so then what happened was I went to this camp where I was working, and the story is about something unfair that happened, and suddenly I just shot up and said, no, you're not going to do that. And for some reason they listened to me, and I became the hero of the camp, which is funny because before that they didn't like me because I was so naive, and they just thought I was a silly blonde girl. And after that, they worshipped me, and it was fun because some of them were famous too. But anyway, it was a pretty funny story. I think you guys will like it, but I didn't. And then I've had my voice kind of after that. I've still had to build it, and then even in college, before that, I was on the debate team and the speech team, but I wasn't very good. I wasn't like my grandmother. She got me on because she knew the teachers, but I wasn't up to par at all. It took all these years to become a polished speaker, but I followed her around and learned from her because she taught Eleanor Roosevelt public speaking. And so she just from following her around, I went all the time with her speeches. You know, she'd start with a quote, end with a quote, those kind of beautiful things. And she'd always do this beautiful pause at the end of every talk. And then it happened. You know, instead of just blathering and putting everything out, she was a real speaker. And so I learned that I can blather or speak, so I can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It was almost like that experience was like almost like a lightning strike. Like, what just happened? That was me? Okay. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was great. It was one of those times where you find yourself, you know, it takes a while. We have to give people time to find themselves. And it took years and years after that. You know, I started writing those lists, you know, I'd like to become an author. I'd like to be on stage more. I'd like to make some movies. And then even some little things. I'd like to floss more. And then I looked at it 2 years later and I had done everything on the list. So we got to remember to make those lists and put them on the wall or in our closet. And that's what makes them come true is declaring them. So I've really been working on that more and more. I have one up here that says, I am ready to receive. I am ready for big money. So I've got all kinds of things going on. Do you know, this is one thing I want to tell you really quick is Chicken Soup for the Soul. What's his name? Jack Canfield. I did a workshop with him. And he said that what he did was he cut up the name of his book, his first one. He had 147 rejections, right? And so he took out the thing and he put the name of his book. He cut out the New York Times and he put the name inside that and put it on his wall in front of him to become a bestseller. Things like that. Do it.
Wonderful, wonderful sharing. Thank you so much. And turning things back over to LaDonna. LaDonna, you also, through your business, do a lot of fundraising. Can you touch upon a little bit about that too? Because I think that also brings in community.
Yes. And Mila, I'm so glad that you have that flossing under control now.
Better. I'm better. My husband's better than me.
So, with Home Sweet Home Treasures, we do fundraising, and we already have some ready for the new year. I'm so excited. And what we do is it's an affiliate program that you sign up for, and we do it for a month long. And let's just say ABC needs extra funds for the food pantry. Or, you know, we did Uganda, we did Ukraine. I mean, we've done several. We did some for the New York teenagers. I mean, we've done small and really large. And what we do is we do it for an entire month. And we give back 20%. And then Mark and I match that 20% to make it 40% of everything that someone purchases through the website using that link. It's a very special link that we give just to that fundraiser. You get 40% back. So if Mila comes in and buys $100 worth of items, they receive 40% of that.
Wow.
I mean, it's a pretty potential to make the fundraising happen and make money from it. And it's just something I'm so proud to do. I get really excited and upbeat about it because it's a way to help others.
I'd say that's a wow.
That is a wow.
Pretty big wow.
We just love to do it. Yes.
Olivia, I know I'm supposed, and Deborah, I know I'm supposed to talk about Toni Kaufman's story, but I'd love to talk about LaDonna's.
Yeah, you go ahead and talk about LaDonna's. Unfortunately, Toni wasn't able to join us today as planned. So, yeah, by all means.
Yeah, LaDonna, you were my first choice.
I
love your story. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't give away what her story's about.
Oh, okay.
We can't give away what her story's about because I want people to read her story. It's an important story on many levels. So you can't talk about what her story is actually about.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that I've read all the stories and they're all amazing, all of them. And I love Olivia's story about why she wears those glasses on her head. But I want to say that when I read LaDonna's, it touched me because I'm a teacher and I've dealt with families and a lot of homeschoolers and a lot of, I've taught over 5,000 kids in my theater program over the last 38 years. And I know what she's talking about is a big issue. And I think that the way she handled it as a family for her teenager is something everyone should read, because whether you are a parent or you know parents or you're going to know someone who goes through this at some point. And I was so impressed with the way she handled it. Instead of punishing and doing a diatribe against it, she embraced it and took it on and helped and got the whole family to do it. I'm just going to tell you, LaDonna, that touched me deeply because I've dealt with so many families. I could just cry right now what I've seen and what's going on, and the big suicide rates since COVID and everything going on. And what you did was brave and insightful and mature. I mean, can't even say enough adjectives about it. So I don't know. Do you want to say anything about it? Because I just want to tell you, I was so deeply impressed with how you handled it compared to what I've heard other people do.
Thank you, Mila. Every family goes through something. Some families go through several things. It's just family, and some people call it dysfunctional. I don't call it dysfunctional. I just call it life. It's just life. Things happen. Life happens. And one of my big slogans, as Mila knows, is God is a very, very funny man. He throws a lot sometimes, but it makes us stronger. And I don't know if there's anything for me is more important than my family. And if I can keep my family striving, going, learning, I'm a happy mama. I'm a happy wife. I'm a happy granny, happy mama. I'm just happy, you never know what you're going to do when obstacle you. Just step back, count to 10, maybe count to 20. Don't react.
Wow. Impressive.
In the beginning, when LaDonna was talking about being in school, and she said she wasn't a quick learner. Maybe she wasn't a quick learner, but she is a wise woman.
Thank you.
And she's learned a whole lot, and we all have strengths. And I want to give a shout out to both LaDonna and Olivia, because they've both been doing the social media for us as a group and done an exceptional job. And while Mila and I may perhaps have, helped with the writing, I cannot thank you two enough for all the social media you've done, because I am not strong in the social media department. So for all of, for you to be doing this, and you're both doing a stellar job. So don't sell yourself short, LaDonna, because you are a wise woman, and there's a lot more things in life that are important than being book learned, in my personal opinion. Book learning is important, don't get me wrong, but I really feel that you've got an awful lot of other strengths too, and all of the writers in our book do. Speaking of coming from a position of strength and change and embracing, the whole book is filled with these amazing stories, and I'm in awe. I'm in awe of every single one of them. And I sure hope that when you purchase your book and you receive it and you dive into reading it, I hope you enjoy reading it as much as we've all enjoyed putting it together, because this is an hour project. This is our WOW group. So I'm very impressed and very proud of each and every one. So, and I thank you.
Yeah, we're leaving a legacy of wow, which is what I think that we're creating. And isn't it wonderful, Deborah, that we can leverage each other's strengths in a community such as this, right? So wow can bring us connection and help us to become stronger as a whole.
Absolutely.
So you contribute.
Absolutely.
I just want to touch upon what Mila was saying just now about Jack Canfield. So Jack Canfield, like, putting his book cover on another book and showing that around. So I want to share with you a wow moment that I had recently. And I'm at the airport. I've been traveling a lot recently, right? So I've been traveling and I'm at the airport. And, they always have those like kiosks for the books, right? So this one particular kiosk had like a very empty space. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a picture because I'm going to do my Canva magic and input our books on there. So I want to share with you what I did. So here it is. Ta-da!
Oh my gosh.
That's great. That's great.
so great.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
That is
Olivia.
great, Olivia.
Olivia, I have to tell you something. This man I took a workshop with, he said, do reverse shoplifting. Go into Barnes & Noble and take your book and put it on the shelf and the subject is supposed to be in. And because then someone will come up and say, hey, I'm going to buy this book. And they'll go, well, we don't have it for sale. Well, maybe we better get it. So I actually did that.
Oh my goodness.
I took my book and I went into some Barnes & Nobles and I found the section and I put it in there. And I don't know if it did anything, but I thought it was pretty funny that he told us to do reverse shoplifting. Olivia, I love that. That was fantastic.
So here I am. This is in Boston, and the sign clearly says inspirational reading, right? And who are we next to? We're next to John C. Maxwell, How Successful People Think. And I just think it's so hilarious because underneath that, how to deal with toxic people. So no toxic people here are wanted, right, in the WOW community. And then both Amy and I have met because we're humorous. Yeah. And so knock jokes for kids. Yeah. So I feel like this was meant to be like this space was just open and widely available. And I just had to take a picture and like just input this Canva 3D image of our book cover. So you can find it next time at the Boston Logan Airport.
Post it everywhere on all the sites.
Olivia, I have a great knock joke that my choir used to enjoy when we were online. Do we want to do that?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, ready? Okay. Now I'm going to ask you. We're going to do it out loud. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Little old lady.
Little old lady
who?
I didn't know you could yodel. Hello. I like the knock jokes, but it wasn't that long ago that I had kids who told knock jokes. So, and plus I'm like 12.
I have one. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you gonna let me in?
Yes.
We're starting our orange harvest right now. I'm full. I have bags of mandarins out. That's what made me think of it.
I want to give a shout out to some of our viewers who are watching. Marilyn Martino, fellow Cinderella, she was saying, this is amazing work and I love your Canva magic. Thank you, Marilyn. And another Marilyn, Atterbury. I'm feeling the wow. Look at that. We created wow on the internet. Lauren and I are Christmas tree shopping and taking you with us. How spirited and fun. Oh, thank you, Marilyn.
She's yodeling too.
Marilyn Martino.
You read that just right. I wouldn't have read that right.
How would you have read it, Mila? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have messed it up.
Who? That's pretty good. How do you spell it? That looks good, Marilyn. You got it.
I just love that we've got such great participation from our viewers. This is such an honor. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Indeed. All right. And then we're almost at the end of time, but I did want to share with you something else very magical and it relates to my chapter. You guys all ready? So these glasses came to me because of a Valentine's Day card.
Aw, cute.
You are spectacular.
I just love it.
So you'll have to read the story about where to find these cards in my chapter. But I found an extra one, so I just had to send it out to everybody.
That's cute.
Love that.
I'm just picturing you, Olivia, with your little pocket full of books, like putting them on the shelf. Although, but you didn't, did you? You just did a picture and put it on.
I love that.
Oh my gosh. What?
Not different colors.
I love her story. Her story is really sparky and sparkles.
I'll bet.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and Marilyn says here, writers always be writing. Yep. I mean, I have to say, Mila, you have really been my tipping point this year in just helping me to unleash these stories. And what an honor it is, right? That we can have other lead authors like Debora and so many that we know of. I mean, Kelly is one of our authors too. And she has been the leading forefront of many other books where we're gathering people together. We're capturing these moments so that we don't forget. We don't forget how we were young once. We don't forget the little girl inside of us. We don't forget, the stories that shaped us, who we are, and our businesses. So
I would like to say Marilyn Martino has been in all my classes for the last 3 years. She's amazing. And thank you, Marilyn, for all that support. And Marilyn Atterbury, too, is a fantastic writer. She was a journalist, and Anyway, thank you, Olivia. I love working with all of you. For me, the greatest joy in the world now is helping people write and publish their books, because it's like magic. It's magical to hold your own book in your hand. And now we're doing another one.
It's very magical, and for me, I'd never dreamed in a million years, because of the way I had to learn younger and behind all the time, and sometimes I think I should go look up all my teachers and send them one of my books.
You should. You should, LaDonna.
They would not believe that I could even, yes, I did have a lot of help from Mila and Deb, of course. But just to be able to get it on the paper is huge. So please, anyone that you don't think you can do it, just do it.
LaDonna, I was just like you. The teachers hated me because I was not a good student. I was looking out at the clouds the entire time, but I was honing my imagination. I had to learn grammar and spelling as I got older, and I'm still learning it. So don't let any of that stop you. I'm telling you, I wasn't any better of a student than you. I was the worst. But the thing is, I didn't let that stop me. So don't let anything stop you from anything.
I never dreamed in a million years I'd be here today writing. Oh my gosh, no. I couldn't even talk halfway through grade school. So, in the right language, not that it was a different language. It's just I had language barriers. And then the learning, it's crazy. I don't know. But
you're an A+ student now, and you can tell those teachers.
Feel like it. I do feel like it.
I think you could probably be teaching some of those teachers a whole lot about social media.
Thank you. Plus, I will say that she's one of my best students, because every single thing I ask her for, she does. And then she goes, "Do you want me to do anything else?" I'm like, "Whoa, you're one of my best students I've ever had, by the way."
Thank you. I think that's the only way you learn. If you don't know what you're doing, just listen to the people that do.
That's right. That's kind of how we get ahead, right? Mm-hmm. And how else? We're talking about community and the importance of networking, the importance of putting yourself out there. Just like, Mila and I met, like she mentioned, on Week of Kindness, which, by the way, is going to be coming up. We'll talk a little more about that later on in the new year. But that's how we met. And look, through meeting Mila now, I've met all of you wonderful people and the other Cinderella monologue authors, that the book that I'm in as well with all of you. And, it's just so wonderful. And, we've got this whole community building and how we're helping each other and lifting each other up. That's, what do they say? He or she who climbs highest helps another one up. And that is really, is there more to life than that, really?
And I love what Marilyn is saying just now, too, about being surrounded by like-hearted women, men and women, right? So we have men authors here as well, too. So our women are a little bit more evolved, but we do have men authors and joining us. And so it's wonderful to be part of a heart-centered community. Excellent. So we're going to close this out. Thank you so much, Kathy.
One second. Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
I see that you've got the banner on the screen there, which is wonderful, about the Super Bundle, the book and the companion playbook for $29.95. This is only available for pre-orders. It will not be available once everything's launched. So if you want to get the bundle and save taxes and shipping, it's a great time to do it. Get your orders in within the next very few days, because once we go to launch, this disappears.
Right, because once we go to launch, I mean, they're sold separately on Amazon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's going to be, I don't, Amazon kind of decides sometimes what prices are, at different times. So, I don't know what the price is going to be. And there will definitely be taxes as well. So this is a little bonus that I've put in for everyone so that they don't have to pay that for our pre-orders. So, I think that's a wow.
That is
You
wow.
want that companion book. You want that playbook.
I think that's what makes it so different, that you can have an accompanying kind of workbook, exercise book to go along with the stories and to really see each of our authors' personalities shine through. I know I'll be sharing some, laughter yoga exercises in that one. Can we do one right now real quick too?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. So make a shape like this. This is the sign for appreciation. And we're just going to laugh. Appreciating one another.
If anyone's just tuning in right now, they think we've lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And perhaps we actually have, LaDonna. Perhaps we actually have.
And we found it. We found wow.
Yeah, we did.
Wow. And see how much your mojo now is feeling better and elevated, right? So instant boost. You just can't help but, feel silly and laugh at yourself because, life is meant to have fun. So there you go.
Olivia, Marilyn just asked if we could put the link so people can click on it in the chat. She was wondering if that can be done.
Yes, so we'll make sure we'll provide that for you. Absolutely, Marilyn. And this is the Facebook group here that's on the screen. And this is the link on here to get those pre-orders in. Remember to select, if you're in Canada, the Canadian button. And then
if you're in the States,
yes. Button. Yeah. So, Deborah has been so gracious to make that separate so you don't get hit with a conversion. So math is already done there for you. But just want to give a super shout out to Kathy Nesbitt for watching, Marilyn Martino, Marilyn Atterbury. Thank you so much for all your support. For those of you watching this on replay, please share it out and let your friends know that our amazing super bundle is available, the book and the companion playbook.
Let's not forget Warren Attenbury, because he's watching too.
Hi, Warren.
Hey. Excellent. And we have another super surprise for all of you. LaDonna has put together an amazing offer from her website. So I've got that loaded here on the screen. If LaDonna, you want to go ahead and talk about it, and I'm going to go get it up.
Yes. Every time someone orders, I will, in return, give you a $5 gift card for Home Sweet Home Treasures. It is a virtual gift card, so it will be emailed to you once I get your email address. And we want you to do that because virtual means no plastic in the landfills. Do you know that it takes 200 to 500 years for one little gift card, plastic credit card or debit card to go back into our earth? Think about that. At least 200 years. So let's do virtual. And all I need is your email. If you buy 23 books, you get 23 $5 gift cards emailed to you.
Wow.
And you get $10 if you buy the super bundle, so the book and companion playbook. So another incentive today to go grab that super bundle.
And I know just for me, for what I put in that, I'm going to brag about myself. I love what I put in the playbook. I think everyone needs those exercises.
Oh.
Can you put a link up for that, for your thing, LaDonna?
It's not a link. All I need is if Mila buys a book, send me your email. Amy, when you buy your book, send me your email. If you buy 23 books, I'll give you 23 of them.
23.
And we did for Cinderella monologues. Marilyn did buy like 23, and she did receive her and already started spending them.
Yeah, that was Marilyn Martino. I know. She bought
Yes.
like a bunch of books for stocking stuffers. And you can too. If you're looking for stocking stuffers, this fits inside perfectly.
Cool.
And if you want to buy multiple books, let us pay the shipping to have them shipped for you. So order them individually and have individual addresses. It has to be a separate address for that. And so then we, again, pick up the tax, pick up the shipping. So why not just let us ship it for you instead of you having to, cart heavy books to the post office and do all that stuff. So yeah, it's, and that's for pre-orders only.
And here's a testimonial from Marilyn. She loves what she finds on homesweethometreasures.net. So it is worth the opportunity just to browse and shop and from the comfort of your home. Don't have to fight the crowds, right?
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This has been such an enjoyable conversation. I'm so glad I got to do with all of you today. Stick around because we've got more authors to cover. So we're going to be interviewing the author roundtables throughout this weekend and posting them. So be sure to check our Facebook group. If you've not joined, go ahead and join right now so you can be kept up to date. And then another reason why you want to get those orders in, we will enter your name in for our drawing. We're going to be doing a major celebration live stream. So we're going to put in the names of every single person who orders, and they'll be eligible for prizes. Right, Deborah?
That's right. Absolutely. And there'll be other prizes offered there too. And so we want people to join us live for that for sure.
So stay tuned. We're going to be interviewing Katie Magg, Stuart Elliott, Kelly Falardo, and Toni Kaufman. So please stay tuned. And if you're watching this on replay, keep the conversation going. We'd love to hear your wow moments. And we're going to end this, and we're going to play some quotes from our authors. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah.
Mwah.